Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So before we get to the main topic, I want to kind of show something that I've noticed on three particular products that have gone bad on me. The first one is the Glassparency graphene spray coating. As you can see, it's all coagulated at the top and it's turned into this gel mess in here. It no longer mixes. All the graphene stuff is on the bottom here, the graphene oxide. But if you shake it, it sounds like a gel in there. And so if I crack this open, and you can kind of see that it's crystallized and turned into a jelly format. So it's not looking good for this product. I've stored it with the spray nozzle on here. I think it comes with the spray nozzle. I can't remember. It's been so long since I ordered it. I've used it a couple times. It's always in the locked position. It was pretty tight here, and since I live in Southern California, it doesn't I don't see excess heat or cool temperatures. It's pretty much mid 70s at most on average. So again, this thing has gone completely bad. I don't know how much this cost. I want to say it's like the $60 range if I remember right. I can't remember exactly, but it's up there. And so I'm going to reach out to them and see if they can if this is a problem, or if it's with maybe I have a bad batch. But I'm going to reach out to them. But if I shake it, it just doesn't do anything. It just breaks up the graphene and kind of just doesn't mix in there anymore. So it's turned into like this gel, coagulated gel. I'm not going to trust the product. I can't use it anymore, so I'm out some money there. The same thing happened to Boost, which I think it's a fantastic product. You can see all the silica stuck at the top here, and it's stuck on the bottom. And you can see the chunks of silica floating around in there. So this one doesn't mix up either. And like I said, I really like this product. I think it's a fantastic spray sealant. It works as a great drying aid as well. But it's just separated from me that I can no longer trust this product. And I was going to use it as a topper today. So unfortunately, I'm not. So I'm going to reach out to Glassparency and say, hey, what's going on with these products? Those are bad. Maybe they reformulated those two. I know they reformulated their waterless wash. Maybe they reformulated that, but that's a problem. I'm out money there. The same thing happened to the Jade graphene detail coating that I bought at Detail King. This turned into a gel format, just like the Glassparency one, and I can no longer use this as well. And if I shake it, it even sounds different, and it's just turned into a mess here. And like I said, I can no longer trust this product. This one is not as crunchy as the Glassparency one, but you can see it kind of dripping off the top. It just looks like ooze. And so again, I can't trust this product, and reach out to Detail King and say, hey, what's going on? So at least start off the top. This is telling me that these two graphene spray coatings share chemistry, because they're both doing the same thing. That's why that's why I suspect this is B&B for sure. This is B&B blended. What it didn't happen to the Exoforma one. This one's okay. The only problem with the Exoforma is the graphene sticks at the bottom. So just give it a good shake until you break that apart, and then it finally mixes in. The same thing happens to the Atom spray coatings, and these have also not gone bad, and I stored these with the spray nozzle. So it's just kind of something to keep in mind, that if you do have either of those three products, keep an eye on them. If you have these products, are just fine. So okay, so let's get to the main topic of the video. I just want to kind of just showcase that. So I'm out some money here. Again, these are not cheap products. I just want to make sure that they don't have a problem with the product, or if there's a bad batch out there, you guys could kind of keep in mind here. So let's get to it. So I said, most of you have been asking me for a Gyeon Pure Evo and a CanCoat Evo update on how the coating is doing. Now I was going to do it a first wash, but my brother took it upon himself to wash it himself. Like I said, it's been 3 months already. I did this December 25th time frame, and now it's April 2nd. And so I'm going to wash the car. Now I washed it about a month ago, 3 to 4 weeks ago, roughly around that time frame. And I did a rinseless wash with N914, and then I just used what's that product? Throttle from Shine Supply, just to kind of wipe up anything, because I wanted to see if there was anything on the paint. And so when I was using N914, I noticed the glass had beading, and that glass on this, all the glass on here has the invisible glass coating, which is not a very hydrophobic coating. And so he dropped it off that day, and I washed it. He came over and I said, hey, what'd you put on it? Well, it turns out he's been using the Meguiar's hybrid ceramic detailer as his topper. I don't know how many times he's used it. And so when I wash this, I don't know if we're going to see the performance of the spray detailer or the true performance of this, because again, I don't know when the last time he used it. I don't know how long it's been since he washed the car. Probably about a week or two since he's washed it. It did rain on Monday, so it kind of cleaned things here. So that's the plan going forward. So in terms of wash regimen, I'm going to just foam the car with Lift, and then I'm going to just go ahead and wash it with Reset. So that's going to be the maintenance wash, and then we're going to go ahead and top it off with I'm not going to use the hybrid ceramic detailer. I'll find a topper to use. I don't know what I'm going to use. I don't know if I'm going to use I'll just come back when I'm getting ready to apply the topper. But so again, that's the plan going forward. One thing I do want to take care of is on this back wheel right here. There's some water spots. I did not coat that rear wheel. I think I just put a spray coating on there. I don't remember which one I put on there at the time, but the other wheels are coated. I'm not happy with some of the wheels on here in terms of my preparation for last time. But so what I'm going to do for that rear wheel for sure is, since it has water spots, I'm going to go ahead and just use Spotless 2.0. And so I'm going to go ahead and do a deep clean. I'm going to use some Glassparency S1 in a spray bottle here. And I diluted it 1 to 5. I had 10 ounces of water and 2 ounces of S1. So I'm going to just go ahead and make a spray product to kind of attack that. And then I'm going to foam the wheels with CarPro D-Scale, attack some of the mineral content in the wheels, and then come at them with a Spotless. I'm going to go ahead and repolish them and recoat them with something else. And that's something else I don't know yet. So I'm going to recoat at least the faces. I'm probably not going to go ahead and take off the wheels off the car here, because his plan is that he's going to keep this maybe for another few months and then sell it for something else. So I'm just going to go ahead and coat the faces, but we're going to give him a deep clean with these products here, and then just the maintenance wash for that. So I'll come back with the maintenance wash. I'm not going to show the wheels process here. I don't know if that's of any interest. And then I think that's pretty much it. So let me get to it, and I'll come back to you when I'm getting ready to wash the surface of the vehicle, just to show you the initial rinse of the paint to kind of see how it's doing. And then I'll foam it with Lift, let that sit for a few minutes, rinse it off, and then put Reset in there, and we'll go from there. So I'm not going to use D-Scale at this time because I don't need to. There's no water spots or anything on the vehicle. It's just a regular maintenance wash. We're going to just go ahead and just wash it and then top it off, and then I'll figure out which topper I'm going to use. I'm going to pull it back in the garage, put the topper in here. I got to polish his exhaust tips because I didn't do that back then, so I'm going to clean those up. Oh, and I'm also going to follow up with an iron remover. I forgot that, so I'm missing the iron remover in here as well. So I'll grab that in a second. So that's pretty much it. And yeah, so let me just get to it, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so I'm actually just putting the spray on an iron remover, and you can see that there's definitely iron on the paint. So again, it's been 3 months since I used an iron remover on this thing, or since I coated it. And so for those of you that say, oh, you can't get iron in 3 months, you can. It just depends on your environment you live in. You can spray it on glass, and the iron remover I'm using is the Glassparency one, which works just fine. So I'm just reactivating some of the one that kind of dried on it because it's kind of cool out here, but you can see that there's iron in the paint here. I use it on the wheels. I still have plenty left in here. I use up to my remaining CarPro retire. I'm going to save that. I'm going to chuck that in the trash later. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to foam over the iron remover as I start prepping the surface here. So let me lock that in place. And then you're probably going, why would you do a iron remover first once you want to remove all that grit off the surface. And I did it with iron remover first because I wanted to use it undiluted, meaning I wanted the full strength of the iron remover on the paint itself, and so it's not going to dry or anything. And then the next thing we do is I'm going to use lift on here, so I'm going to foam this with the iron remover still on there. So it's gotten to the point where I'm not going to get much more iron removed off the surface, because again, it's been 3 months. There's not that much iron here. It's been sitting here for a few minutes already. So we're just going to go ahead and just start foaming this, and I'll let the lift sit on it for a few minutes. Alright, so we're going to let that sit for a couple minutes. Then we're going to come back with a contact wash. So that was lift diluted 1 to 10 on this foam gun. So I had 20 something ounces of water in here and 20 ounces of product. I mean 20 ounces. 2 ounces of product. And whatever, diluted 1 to 10. So after that, we're gonna just go ahead and rinse this off. I don't know why I have this brush in here. So I'm gonna take out my nozzle. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my bucket of reset ready. I'm going to go into the contact wash. So let me just let this sit for a few more. You can see lift just kind of hopefully breaking things down here. It's probably taking the iron remover off, and we'll kind of let that kind of break things down. But yeah, so far it looks good. So let me just let this sit for a couple more minutes, and then I'll come back to you, and then we'll do the rinse. Just to show you the initial hydrophobics. Again, I don't know if we're going to be looking at the hydrophobics of the hybrid ceramic detailer sitting on top of the coating or the coating itself. And so we'll just kind of take a look at that, and we'll go from there. So let me just come back to you in a few minutes, but we'll see if lift is actually doing stuff. Yeah, see, it broke down some of those bee droppings here. Here's another one here, and so it's breaking them down. So I'm going to just let this sit for another minute, maybe 2, and then I'll come back, we'll rinse it off, and then we're just gonna do the contact wash with Carpro Reset, pull it back into the garage, dry it off, and then I got to figure out which topper I'm going to choose for this as a maintenance topper. I was going to do, well, we'll talk about that when I get to it. So let me just go ahead and let this sit for a few more, and then we'll come back and for the initial rinse. Camaro wet, but we're going to go ahead and just rinse this off, and we'll see how the performance is of the coating. Okay, so I'm going to tell you right off the bat that lift, that we are going to be seeing the performance of the hybrid ceramic detailer. The way I can tell is because the glass is beading. This has the invisible glass coating, and that doesn't have good hydrophobics. So I know we're looking at the performance of the topper, not the actual coating. Okay, so that's the initial rinse, and again, we're seeing the performance of the topper, not so much the Gyeon Pure and CanCoat combination, because the glass is showing beading here. So that's telling me that we're looking at the hybrid ceramic detailer as a topper, and not so much the coating. But again, that's pretty impressive. So he must have put it on recently, because it looks pretty strong. It looks pretty strong, and so at this point, what I would do is just go ahead and go to my contact wash. I'll just take this over there and I'll just show you a couple panels here. Now here's the thing. I know so many people they want to do their, they say that the 2-bucket wash system is not that safe. My response is, hey, find whatever wash method works for you and just use that. So if you want to use multiple mitts in your bucket, then just use multiple mitts in your bucket. If you want to use microfiber towels in your bucket, just use that. If you want to just use a pre-wash followed up by your by a couple of towels or mitts or whatever, then do that. I mean, find a method that works for you and just do that. For me, I'll stick with a couple mitts in the bucket for the lower portions, and then one mitt for the painted surfaces. I don't really care. I'm not going bananas if there's a little bit of dirt floating around in my wash solution. So again, just find the wash method that works for you and just continue to do that, and you'll be perfectly fine. But what I'm doing here is I'm taking advantage of the snow foam part of it to break down some of the dirt and take it with it as I rinse it off initially. So again, I'm gonna go around the vehicle doing that, repeat my process, and I'll come back and I'll show you the final rinse of the combination of the coating plus the topper. We'll back it back in, I'll dry it off, and then we'll pick another maintenance topper to proceed. Maybe I'll just use the Meguiar's one since he uses that most of the time, but it really doesn't need it. But we'll go from there, and I'll come back to you in a second. So I'm done going around with the contact wash, and now I'm going to go ahead and just rinse it off. So I'll tell you what, whatever's on it on the top, again, this Meguiar's product looks really awesome on there. So let me just top it right back with the Meguiar's product for him. The trim's looking good. Everything looks good on here. I gotta be careful, I don't want to get my car wet. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's how I would wash the old maintenance wash. Get some soap residue off the bottom of those things. You know, everything's performing just fine. Again, we're seeing the performance of the topper and not so much the main coating, and that's why I couldn't get you guys a good representation of the performance of this coating, because my brother decided to top it and maintain it himself, and that's what you get. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sheet rinse this. And this is what I normally do with my wash process. You know, it almost seems like this is a lost art from the wash process. Everybody transitioned over to you know, pressure washing and using a pressure washer for your rinse as well. But one of the key things about doing this is the fact that I don't have so much water left behind. So you just go around the entire vehicle like this. So this is the way I normally wash. Actually, I'll just keep you on camera to show you my wash process. Normally I don't wash big vehicles like this because we don't, you know, I just have the cars here. You can see how much less water I have on the surface. So when it comes to the drying portion, if I wanted to just go straight to a towel, I could. I already got a fresh dropping of something on there. And so what this is just an old piece of hose that I cut and saved it. I can close this now, and so if I come across, you know, if it hits the paint, you know, it's not going to scratch it because it's rubber. And so that's pretty much it, folks. I mean, this is the way I normally wash a car. Well, other than the iron remover, but on a daily basis I come back with a sheet rinse. Today's actually really cool, so I can take my time. Again, I never wash in the sun anyways, so I'm mostly doing this in the shade. So in the summertime, when I have to do a bucket wash, I'll just come out here when the shadows change for me, and so that's it. And if I still had daylight, I would actually move this car in here pretty quick. But since it's overcast, it's actually really cool out here. I don't have to move as fast. And then next thing I would do, just to kind of show you, give you an idea, as I have the new Ego 765, which my dad keeps getting dirty. And just to kind of show you how much power this has. It's gonna be pretty loud. I'll turn it down at this point. So that's the drying process. I'm gonna get my hearing apparatus because this thing is pretty shrill. So that's what I would do. Let me go back and get my hearing protection, dry this off. Actually, I'm gonna dry it off in the garage, and that's pretty much it. So stay tuned for the maintenance topper. I'm really thinking about just putting the Meguiar stuff on there just to have for him, or you know, we'll see. All right, so again, thanks for watching, and we'll come back with the final update of what I do as far as the maintenance topper. I'm going to top off the tips, exhaust tips, and everything else. All right, so again, be right back for that. All right, so as I mentioned, get yourself some hearing protection. These are just some 3M things here to protect your ears, because that what do you call it, that Ego is pretty shrill and you don't want to go deaf. So now on the maintenance topper. So like I said, my brother's been using the hybrid ceramic detailer. Fantastic product. Gyeon recommends using their topper. Again, if you go outside of the Gyeon lineup, nobody's gonna get on your case for saying, oh, you didn't use the Gyeon stuff, you're in trouble, you voided your warranty. Again, just maintain your coating, use whatever topper you want. There's so many on the market that are good, and they all achieve the same thing. But for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and use Carpro Elixir. I haven't used this in quite some time. I know people have issues with it. Let me set the spray pattern here. That's good enough. I know people have issues with it streaking. Normally that comes from using too much. I'm gonna prime my towel, and you don't need that much. You know, just a quick spritz on the paint, and you're good to go. Just work it in. And then you're going to come back with a secondary towel, because I can still see some streaking here, and knock those down with the secondary towel. And then just move on to the next panel. So I know some people, I don't have my lights on over here. I know some people tend to have issues. See if I can get this other one over here. Issues with the elixir going on and causing streaks. Again, if you use too much, yes, you're gonna have streaks. And elixir is actually very temperamental. So if it's too cold, then you can cause streaking. And it's pretty simple to remedy. Just come back if you have some sort of streaking. Just come back with the towel you were using, and you know, because it's already damp with product, like removes like, and then just wipe off any excess residue, and then just move on. But I like Carpro Elixir. I think it's a great product. It'd be interesting to know if the ceramic detailer that from Gyeon, you know, it's probably very similar. You know, part of Elixir's chemical makeup is Echo, Hydro 2, and what do you call it? What am I missing? Reload. I couldn't forget Reload in there. And so I don't know what Gyeon's using for theirs, because they're using they have to use some sort of product in there for, you know, cleaning. You know, in this instance for elixir, they're using Echo. You know, so what is Gyeon using for theirs? Do they have a rinseless wash or a waterless wash coming out in the future, so you can make your own? That'd be interesting to know. It'd be interesting to know if that's what they have going on behind the scenes, or are they just using their quick detailer that came out I don't know how many years ago, and they use that plus some ceramic and wet coat and Gyeon Pure. Is that what they're doing for that? So honestly, who knows? But let me go to the back here because I want to show you something here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's some water spots, right? Because I didn't get to the, you know, they kind of dried on there. That was a little too heavy. But you can remove those very easily. Remove them very easily if you catch them in time. If I let those go, yeah, they would turn into water spots. Here's that fresh piece of dropping, whatever that is. Okay, I'll come back with this towel. Wipe off any excess product. And I removed any remaining elixir off the glass so that you can avoid any streaking and from it looking relatively ugly. And so I noticed there was some more in this area here on this piece of glass. Again, the water's kind of hard here, but if I catch them during the drying process, it's not a problem. They are easily remedied. But yeah, this we'll just go on with this. This plastic piece is funky on this car because it tends to oxidize so fast. So I just want to kind of just show you that. So I'm going to go around the entire vehicle, use elixir. I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do for the trim, and then I'm going to touch up the tires. I'm going to go ahead and attack the water spots that are on that wheel, and then I'll go from there in terms of recoating the wheels. I'm going to recoat all four faces. I'm going to hit them with the water spot remover because I know he got hit with a sprinkler and they're somewhat fresh. I'm going to repolish them, and then I'll just recoat them because I wasn't too happy with the finish last time. So we'll do that, and then I'll top off the trim, and that's pretty much it. I think I'm going to put something on these pieces here so that they're hydrophobic. So let me just go ahead and knock this out and I'll be right back. I'm done wiping down the vehicle. So again, I wiped down the car with Carpro Elixir. So I wiped everything down with it and it came out great. No streaking. Again, just use 2 towels. You don't need a lot of product. I'll take a quick walk around right now just to show you what it looks like. I will be working on the wheels and tires tomorrow. So I'm going to take care of the water spots here. I think I had enough for the day here. And then for the trim, I ended up coming around, and again I did a panel wipe on the trim, and I just wiped it down with the Adams Graphene Ceramic Spray Coating just to top off the base layer coating that was on there, which I believe is the Pinnacle Black Label Ceramic Trim Restore on there. I think that's what I used because I remember seeing the darkening up the trim. So I topped it off with that. Like I said, it's been 3 months. I would recommend topping up your trim coating at least once a year because your trim coating is going to fade over time. If you use a spray coating like this or Gyeon CanCoat as I use on the engine bay in that recent video, this will kind of act as a sacrificial layer to your trim, and it'll enhance the appearance once again. So you can do that, you know, quarterly or maybe twice a year if your trim's looking a little worse for wear. But I hit all the bottom trim with that. Car's looking good. No problems whatsoever. You can see the gloss from this view on the car looks great. Just brightened up the silver look. I'm gonna go ahead and take the GoPro off my head and just go around the vehicle just to kind of show you what it looks like right now. Like I said, I have it in the garage as I'm working on it, and you can see that the gloss levels look fantastic on this. That Gyeon Pure top with CanCoat looks good, and again, you're just topping it with another ceramic product. It's just going to enhance the look even further, especially as the silica starts to cure on the paint. So so far so good. I mean, this Equinox is looking great here, and I backed it in because it's easier for me to pull this out for him once he gets here. Just pulling it straight ahead versus backing up out of the driveway. But you can see the gloss looks great, very glossy, which of course he's big gloss freak, and in order to get silver to pop, you're gonna have to really work for it. And again, that Gyeon Pure CanCoat base layers really enhances the look of the paint here. So let me see if I can step back so make sure I don't trip on anything. It's a little dark over here, but the car looks great. The ambient lighting is really kind of messing things up in here with the lighting, but it looks good. You can see the gloss looks great from this view. So again, if you polish out your vehicle and you coat it and you maintain it, the gloss levels will always be very high, regardless if you top it or not. That's completely up to you. It depends on how often you want to top it. If you do it once a month, that's perfectly fine. But so far, his Equinox looks great. I'm gonna fix the wheels, and once I fix the wheels, it'll look even better. One product I do not like is the Sequartz Blackout tire coating. The look is not that great. You're gonna have to top it. That's the older version. I would not recommend Sequartz Blackout just based on my experience. I know there's a new version out there. I'm not gonna go ahead and purchase it. I'll just stick with a traditional water-based tire dressing. So again, that's the update on the, get my keys out of the way, on the Gyeon CanCoat and Gyeon Pure Evo on the car, and it's looking fantastic. And again, a very good combination to achieve gloss levels. You'll be more than happy with this product combination, and your car's gonna look great for a long time. All right, so again, thanks for watching.